Do you know you cannot just build any type of property on your land? Do you know that the state government gives approval on every land usage? Are you curious as to why some areas are mainly residential, commercial, and some are fully industrial areas? Do you know the importance of land zoning to your property development? Join me next Monday on Instagram and YouTube on another episode of Adbond Real Estate Insights as I talk about the importance of land zoning to property development. My name is Adewale Ajibade. Do you know you cannot just build any type of property on your land? Do you know that the state government gives approval on every land usage? Are you curious as to why some areas are mainly residential, commercial, and some are fully industrial areas? Do you know the importance of land zoning to your property development? Join me next Monday on Instagram and YouTube on another episode of Adbond Real Estate Insights as I talk about the importance of land zoning to property development. My name is Adewale Ajibade. Do you know you cannot just build any type of property? I welcome you all to Adbond Real Estate Insights. This is the final session for the year 2022. I'll be talking on the importance of zoning to a property's development. My name is Adewale Ajibade. Imagine living very close to the international airport, to a train station, to a farm, to a warehouse, or to a piggery farm, or even a poultry farm. How would that look like? Imagine you staying close to a church and you have a mosque nearby. I also have a garbage dump. How would living in such kind of settlements, what impact will that be health-wise to you? I'll give us a few definitions so we can have a picture of what we are talking about. What is zoning? Zoning cannot be done by individual. It can only be done by a government agency or those that have been authorized to do same. Zoning is a tool that most authorities, local, state, and federal governments use to govern specific land use. According to Town and Country Planning Info, zoning is a process of planning for land use by a locality to allocate certain kind of structures in certain areas. We know by nature, we can even say that God is the originator of zoning. You know where the mountains are. Some call it the hills. Most part of Europe, you know where the river bank is. All of these things have boundaries. You know where you have the land boundary. For example, you can see the lagoon. The lagoon and the ocean, they are boundaries. You know where the land boundary is when it comes to the mainland and the islands. So you can say God has given man the picture of how they can create settlements by what we call zoning. Zoning also includes restriction in different zoning areas, such as height of buildings, use of green space, density, number of structures in certain areas, use of lots and types of businesses. Levels or type of zoning include open space, residential, retail, commercial, and agricultural. Now, I classify this as broad. The industrial zone, administrative zone, business zone, open space, and residential zone, and final agricultural zone. The height zone, as you can see in this image here, this is Ozumba Badiwe, Victoria Island, Lagos. The main object of height zone is to supply enough daily light to building. Most people don't even understand. They don't even know that. They ask questions, why do they have to build tall buildings in some certain areas? Is it that the land is firm enough to take such building? No. Is it that it's because they must build tall buildings just by the river or by the lagoon or by the waterfront? Is to supply enough daily light of the building. You know, most developed area in the world, if you watch, you can find high-rise, most high-rise even close to the river. Most high-rise you see on islands, and is to enhance the beauty of that environment and to cause reasonable traffic movement. Now, areas like Alferiwan, Bodilon, Gerard, Marina are designated for high-rise and tall skyscrapers. And this is government decision to do that or to do so. Ikeja was the capital of Lagos State. Why don't you have 100-story building or 25-story building? But you have that in Marina, you have that in Ozumba, you have that in Alferiwan. It's government decision for rapid development, beautification, and the likes. Now, the advantage of height zoning, it does not allow tall buildings to come up nearby small building. They will say, for example, this particular area is zoned for nothing less than 15-story building, or it shouldn't even be more than 15-story building. You can't build a bungalow on an area that's been zoned for nothing less than or more than 15-story building. Even the cost of the land, you won't be able to afford it. It established minimum standards for light, air, and space, thereby creating healthy conditions. It controls the setback road and so on and so forth. And it controls the land value. For example, Ikeja GRA. Joguna K. Isaac John, you can go as high as more than 15 floors. Now, recently, on Ladoke Akintola, there used to be low density. You can't go more than 6 floors. Now, because of a 5-star hotel coming up there, you can go as high as 12 floors on Ladoke Akintola. And what happened is that the price of land on Ladoke Akintola has increased. Now you have land value. Land value has increased so much. The advantage of density zoning, the land use are established. It ensures enough light and ventilation to the residents. Then industrial zoning, minor industries like bakeries, laundries. And we know that in our country, most people go against government regulations, land regulations. So, light industry and factory like manufacturing of, glass, tire, Dunlop tires, alcohol, and the likes. You can see that such industries are zoned specially from industries that just produce like bakeries, just groceries. Now, every industry giving out obnoxious or harmful gases and industrial causes noise. Industrial zoning, like area like Obakan Avenue, Wemco Road, Agidingbi. If you notice, you see gas pipeline installed in such industrial areas. You can't find gas pipeline installed in a residential area because they don't have need for it. It's only manufacturing companies, heavy industries. Why? Because they need it for production, electricity supply, and so on and so forth. The agencies in charge of zoning, we have several departments, developments, permits departments, fiscal planning, research and statistical development, fiscal development intervention departments, district and local plans department, technical service department, geographic information department. All these departments are with the Lagos State fiscal planning. And you can see that this state government agency are in charge and they are responsible to plan, devise and implement the state's policy on fiscal planning and urban development. Importance of zoning to a property development. Now, zoning helps to maintain property value. An environment that has been zoned to be commercial and an area that has been zoned to be residential, the price of land will not be the same. An industrial area or an area as a residential area. Zoning essentially keeps factories out of residential areas. There's control. It can protect the value of any property by ensuring that incompatibility uses aren't permitted. Zoning helps add aesthetic value to various property developments. Zoning hates and prevents man-made disasters from happening. You know where the limit is. You cannot go and build your house near where you have the lagoon. You know when there's much water movement, you can be certain, or where there's flood, you'll be the first victim. So zoning helps to control all of these things. If zoning is adopted, it results in the control of future development of the town. For example, what Adbon is doing, Harvest and Homes. There are areas where development has not catch up, and presently it can be used for agricultural purpose. You make money while farming on the land. And when development move there, even though some of the areas might be zoned to agriculture, but when development catch up there, the value of your land increases because now there will be change in land use. And what is that change? It will be changed to residential. Because you can't continue to farm whereby there's a lot of emigration into the city. So this is even what urbanization, this is the experience of urbanization. There will definitely be change in land use, and that's why zoning is very, very important. And kudos to Lagos State government, even though the enforcement is not strong yet. So good land zoning ultimately helps in property value appreciation over time. Zoning can also protect public health and safety by requiring lots to be large enough to allow the safe disposal of septic tanks, effluents. I hope you understand this. Now, if you have hotel, maybe on a particular streets, the infrastructure but because there has been change or altered in the zoning plan. That either abandoned. So that's the disadvantage of a public health and structure provided for residential zone is quite different, even though they are the same, but just that the magnitude is not as the commercial zone area. Then, in conclusion, without zoning, real estate development will be non-existent, as there will be chaos, conflict land uses, and overall abuse of the environment. We know, if you have ever been to a village before, you know when you have all those huts, all those small buildings. I know in the morning, the people go to farm very far away, even though there might not be a clear design of the settlement, but nature itself says that, oh, people should live here, people should go and defecate here. Then they don't have what we have now. You have the toilets, you have the bath, but they know that you cannot have your bath inside the house. You cannot defecate where people live. They will go inside the bush, maybe 500 meters away from where people live, 1 kilometer away before they can defecate. You know, that in their own way, they delay that zone. Zoning is important and helps improve the overall quality of real estate all over the world. And if you have any question, comment, suggestion, kindly make use of the comment section and we'll get back to you. Thank you so much. My name is Adewale Ajibade.